Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Aaron's Book Club. I have a book review to do. Excuse me, I just had pizza. So I have a book review to do that I was going to wait until tomorrow when I had better light to do, but the way it finished, I need to talk about it. So before I get started though, all of my book reviews are not spoiler free. So if you have not read this book, do please read the book and come back to me. That is your warning. The book that I want to do a review on today is called Spymaster. It's book one of the Dragon Corsairs trilogy or series. It's by Margaret Weis and Robert Krammes. Here's the title. I went into this book really excited because although I don't know Robert, I do know Margaret. And I've read at least one book by Margaret that I really enjoyed. So I was excited to read this one. The beginning of the book was incredibly hard to get into. The characters at first all seemed pretty one-dimensional, and they all seemed pretty bad. Nobody really seemed to be in it for anybody other than themselves. They, even the main character was a pirate, so to speak, that enjoyed swindling people. And the prologue, before I got into the main book, was exciting because it was about the main character being a young girl, and the dragons were introduced, and the dragons were almost looked at as like a higher level than humans. Then I got reading the book, and it got very political and very, this royal family's trying to take over this royal family, and it was very hard to follow along with. Plus, there was world building, but it wasn't world building in a way that I felt I was part of the world. It was very hard to follow the world outlook, the magic system, what everything felt and looked like. I just had a hard time immersing myself into all of it. And on top of that, I had a really hard time investing any effort into the characters because none of the characters seemed good. They all had devious points. And then the main point, the thing that really turned me off, was the dragons were not anything more than different members of society, of the human society. And for me, my personal preference and my personal enjoyment about dragons is they should be held a little bit higher up than humans, because let's face it, if they disagree with a human, they can eat them, that kind of thing. And this author didn't go that way. They were now part of society, and they had titles like Lord and Lady. And again, the first part of the book, I did not enjoy it. I came very close to not finishing it because I had such a hard time following it. In fact, right through till almost halfway through, I had a hard time following it. And then we were introduced to the usurper king that wants to take over the throne. Well, that has been plunged into taking over the throne. And he is the only really redeemable character in the book that I actually want to invest my time in. And he's not really in there very often, so I would be able to be eager to read for like 2 or 3 paragraphs, and then it was like, okay, this is getting boring. So that became very difficult through all of it. And then slowly, little by little, I started to empathize a bit with the main character, and started to get a little more intrigued, and started to see that maybe she wasn't as bad as I first judged her to be. Then the last, 25 pages of the book absolutely floored me. Like, action-packed, kept me invested. I started seeing honorable traits in the main character. And then it, of course, ends with a cliffhanger, and now I'm struggling with, do I buy the next book and risk hating the next book? Or now that we've gone through all the effort of doing the world building and the introduction and getting to know everybody, will the next book be better? I don't know. I'm conflicted because it was so hard to get into, but the last 24 pages was amazing. So maybe? I don't know. But that's how I feel about Spymaster, and I will let you know, A, if I order it, or B, when I have another book read. Thanks so much, guys.